I am so excited to be here today. This is my first CfA summit, so all the first timers, raise your hands. All right, you guys having a good time? Nice. So I'm really excited to be introducing the economic development focus area and talking about the economic development track here at CfA Summit. Now, while the focus area itself is pretty new, we've been working with governments on iterative design and user-centric process improvements for a few years. Here are a few of the fellowship projects we've done with Santa Cruz, San Antonio, Puerto Rico, Detroit, and New Orleans. These are the projects that have taught us a lot about where we need to go and how we need to get there. We now know this is an important element of what we need to be doing. So why is it that economic development is alongside health and human services, communications and engagement, and safety and justice as one of the core focus areas for Code for America? Well, here's one stat. The World Bank ranks the United States 46th in the world as the place where it's easiest to start a business. It's not so good, especially when we now know that startups, new companies, whether those are tech or not tech, are actually the ones who create the most jobs. We need to change this. We also know that as our economy's changed, as we've gone towards tech and other different industries, not everyone has been included. In New Orleans, 52% of African American men are not working. We know that this is not unique to New Orleans. Cities across the country are dealing with issues of greater inequality. We have to be able to better deliver the services that can address this. Similarly, youth unemployment, as we've come out of this Great Recession, is at the highest point it's been since the Great Depression. It's 3 times higher that of other groups. This is important because youth, these are people ages 16 to 24, are thinking about how are we going to start a career, how are we going to stay out of trouble. And there's all sorts of data that tie those things together. And we know we have to get the economy working. Governments play important roles as regulators and investors in their economies. And we know that the tools that we've been working with them to build can help them better deliver on those objectives. Now, what is economic development anyway? It's probably like the wonkiest thing I've ever heard. So if I were to ask you all to say what economic development was, you'd probably shout out a whole bunch of things. You'd say business attraction, education, transit. You might say STEM. Some of you will say internet access. Others of you might say gentrification. Some of you may say innovation. The wonkiest among you would say Gini coefficients or some measure of inequality. The thing about it is it means something different to everyone. I want to take a chance and try to give us some common language, some of the language that I use when I hear economic development. And that's pie. Pie is what economic development is. Economic development is about growing the pie. And it's about growing the pie in a way that everybody's slice gets bigger. And if we're really successful, the people who've got the smallest slice of the pie see proportional growth throughout the way. So how do we affect change? What does that look like for Code for America? Certainly, it's been about using our fellowship to prototype some amazing tools. It's about working with city partners to deepen those impact and build those tools out to actually reach more people. So it starts with that inclusive economic growth. Remember, it's about inclusivity because, as we've heard all week, everyone needs to participate in 21st century government. It's about improving the ways in which government and business interact because if you've ever filed a business permit, you know it is not exactly the most positive experience. We know those things have to be better if we care about our economy growing. We also know that when it comes to economic development and the workforce needs of our companies, our employers, even government, we need to bridge the skills gap. More people are being left behind, and we have to ensure that government, which is putting billions of dollars into a workforce system, is spending those dollars as effectively as possible. A huge opportunity for us.